be his weakest spot. So I gave him three throat hits. Uh, kind of slowed him down, but not much. And then that's how we basically met him.
Love at first sight, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, it was good. And after that, they would come, and we'd always roll with them. It was great, and it would. And then we got into the blade, and then at that time we had long hair, and Tom loved long hair. He used to, twirl it around his hand, and he would. We'd wrestle, but we would have a blade on us. So as he would grab our hair, we would just cut, just start cutting him, and he would kind of get pissed off a little bit. So and then but it was a mutual respect, and then it just we just grew, and then we just became real good friends.
All right, good, Neil. It was great talking to you, and I look forward to training with you and seeing you again in the future. Thanks.
Thank you.
Down of the throw, okay? Now our belief is that when you take someone down, the ground is the best surface you can use, right? It's the best knuckle, it's the biggest knuckle. It hits the whole body, it covers a lot of area, it always hits hard and never misses. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so we're gonna look at that stuff. All right, so let's just look at the basic entry first. I want to show you like two of them that you'll need to do the techniques that we're doing, and then I may give you some other variations. This is just a simple hand exchange. So when she punches, all I'm gonna do is parry, bring the other hand across, and come in, okay? Now here's the concept I'm speaking about. When we do this, this is my souk, this is the entry. Right, this is my souk or my sukan. This is tubruk, the collision. Pull is to stick, right? Not to give her or the opponent any space. This turn here.
Hi, I'd like to introduce Tuan Roberto Torres and Talio Silat master. Tuan Torres, can you give us a little background about your history in the martial arts?
Sure, Steve, I'd be happy to. I started martial arts back in 1968 when I was 8 years old. I'm 45 today. And I started in most of the usual systems that people started in: karate, jiu-jitsu, and so on. Shotokan karate, and really didn't achieve any high ranks on those. Green belts, brown belts, and so on. And when I went to the service, I had a very strong desire to continue studying martial arts. And the base that I went to in Germany had a kung fu instructor on there, a system called Kung Xie Tao Kung Fu, Sifu Virgil Crawford. And I trained with him my whole time in Germany, the 3 years that I was in Germany, and earned a black sash in that particular system. But one of the reasons, one of the things I wanted to do while I was in the service was to go to Asia or Hawaii to study martial arts. And I was very disappointed when my orders were cut to go to Germany. And little did I know that there was a whole plethora of martial arts in Germany. I mean, all kinds of systems: Korean martial arts, Chinese martial arts, Vietnamese martial arts, Chinese systems, and I was able to meet many of these teachers at tournaments and so on, and exchange information. I mean, at that time, well, still am today, very hungry for information and so on, and just spoke to people, traded techniques with them, got as much as I could. And I had an interest in Filipino martial arts, but at that time, like when I first heard of Filipino martial arts was in 1973. There was an article in a magazine called Oriental Fighting Arts, which I believe was done in Canada. And then they had an article there on Kali, on Ben Lagursa, Grandmaster Ben Lagursa. And I still have the article today, and I read that article, I read it, and I said, I need to study this. And it wasn't until 81, when I came out of the service, that I had told my wife, I said, I'm going to study Filipino martial arts. I'm going to find where it is. And I knew there was an instructor in New York, because there was another article I had read before I left for the service on Grandmaster Matt Marinas. But at that time, I didn't know the martial art was so secretive, Filipino martial arts and Indonesian martial arts. So when I used to go to the city with my parents, I would look for this school of Arnis, that Matt Marinas had, but little did I know he trained in some park. So when we came back from Germany, I told my wife I want to study Filipino martial arts, and I get an Inside Kung Fu issue, and it had a very well-known, as a matter of fact, that issue had a very well-known Filipino martial arts master on the cover. And I said, wow, okay, I need to study this. And as I opened the magazine, I see there's a Kali school maybe 20 miles away from me, 30 miles away from me. And it was Tuhan Chris Sayoc's school.